Local school district is among 23 statewide sharing the piece of a $48 million pie as part of the EPA's Clean School Bus Program.
The Clean School Bus Rebate Program is a part of the Infrastructure Act passed in 2023, which aims to convert the nation's school bus fleets to low or zero emission vehicles. Harlem High School will receive $800,000 in rebate funding to purchase 4 clean school buses. The goal of the program is to improve air quality, reduce greenhouse gas pollution, and accelerate the country's transition to zero emissions transportation.